Throughout my 18 plus years in the school system, I started to realize that the school system is designed to abandon Black students. The first thing I want to touch on is the over-disciplining of Black students. Instead of actually sitting down with these students and trying to see what could potentially be going on in their lives, certain teachers and administrators would rather hit these students with harsh punishments, right? In the form of, let's say, in-school suspensions, unnecessary detentions, even out-of-school suspensions, right? And so instead of actually trying to see what could help these students be the best student they could be, these teachers would rather over-discipline them and stunt their development. In a report done by American Research Association Open, they detailed that relative to white students, Black students were 3.6 times more likely to have been suspended out of school, 2.5 times more likely to have been suspended in school, and 3.4 times more likely to have been expelled from school. Like I said, this stunts the development of Black students in the sense that since they're out of school so much or out of the classroom so much, they're never able to reach their full potential. It also leads these students to resent the school system, right? If a system is constantly punishing you for being a child and growing up and, trying to find your way in the world, why would you want to adhere to that system, right? That's just how everything works when it comes to systems in our society. And so from this resentment, it could potentially lead these students to go down a different path in life, which is something I will touch on later. Honestly, in my schooling days, I was a victim of this. There would be times in school where I would just be laughing or, just cracking jokes with my friends, as all kids do, right? And sometimes I'd get in trouble for it. I would get detentions, and on one occasion, like when I was in third grade, I got suspended from school, which I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a badass kid, but I was smart, I just get bored in class from just having all my work done, and stuff like that. So I would just be trying to laugh, trying to pass time, things like that. They have kids in school for almost 8 hours a day. You feel me? Like, kids are going to get tired. Kids are going to get restless. Kids are going to be wanting to, use all their energy. And so that's what I did naturally. And I was punished for it. And I wouldn't say every time I was punished, it was unfair. But there are definitely times in middle school and things like that where I was unfairly punished for just laughing and enjoying myself with my friends. And it wouldn't even be at the expense of other people, right? It would just be within our friend group. It's not like I was just going around bullying people, you know what I'm saying? So to see that, and then these students come back into the system and be like, oh, I don't really care about school. I don't really want to go to school because I know I'm gonna get in trouble for something dumb, or I know, they think it's a waste of time because of the system set up by these teachers and administrators within these school systems. And another incident I had in school was in high school. This is my senior year of high school, actually. I was in physics. And my teacher, he had got mad at me and some of my friends because I was showing them something on my computer that actually had to do with the lesson. And he got mad at us and tried to threaten us with detention. And so we were quiet for the rest of the lesson, right? And then at the end of the lesson, I waited until the end on purpose. I asked them to go to the restroom. And so I went to the restroom. It wasn't the restroom right across the hall from his classroom, but it was one a couple of halls away. And it wasn't even that far. It was at the top of our gym. And when I came out of the bathroom and was looking around, I saw that he was out there looking for me for some reason. He thought I had skipped class or something just because he had got mad at us. I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I do not care. And he comes to me, he's like, hey, why weren't you in the bathroom? I was like, I went to the bathroom at the top of the gym, the one a couple of halls away from here. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to write you up for that, And I'm like, I'm getting in trouble for going to the bathroom, gang? I was like, all right, say less. Mind you, I had never got in trouble in high school. I got in trouble in elementary school a decent amount, but I never got in trouble in high school. There was nothing on my record. And so this man was trying to give me my one and only record on my discipline record. Like, it didn't make sense. So I remember I had to go talk to the assistant principal. Thankfully, she knew that I never got in trouble. I had a good relationship with her, so I was cool. But it's the fact that teachers, and I mean, it don't even always have to be white teachers, right? They will find a way to get you in trouble for trivial shit. And so, this leads into the point I have about kids barely having rights or any credibility. Because in situations like that, teachers will always have the upper hand. Especially when it comes to black students, they will always have the upper hand. They will always have the final say. Even if a kid didn't do anything wrong or if it was blown out of proportion, right? Like teachers, if the teacher says something, that's just it. The kid has no say. And I think that's wrong. That's wrong. It messes up these kids. It doesn't give them a fair opportunity to learn. You know what I'm saying? And so this leads into a common talking point, which is the school to prison pipeline for black students. This constant punishment leads vulnerable black students to resent the school system that has abandoned them. This abandonment and lack of structure could lead them down a worse path. Going back to the report I referenced earlier, it also revealed that black students are 2.4 times more likely to have been referred to law enforcement, 2.9 times more likely to have experienced a school-based arrest, and 2.3 times more likely to have been corporally punished, which means in the form of, I guess that'd be physical punishment within the school system, which is still legal in, I think, like 20 states or so. But yeah, honestly, just from my experience and from the experience of people I know and grew up with and some of my family members, I have seen firsthand how the school system abandons black students and it leads them to prison, or it can, because the school system, there are aspects of the school system, or there are certain school systems that don't want black students to succeed. And so I feel like this is an important piece to touch on. Obviously, people have touched on this, throughout time, but now more than ever, when literacy rates are falling, people are just losing their critical thinking, it is important for all students to have the right to a proper education. But black students in particular are disproportionately punished within the school system. But yeah, thank you all for listening. I will leave the source for that report in the description below. So feel free to check it out. And if there are any educators watching this video, feel free to leave me a comment about how you feel. Or if you're not an educator, also leave a comment. I look at all of my comments and I try to respond to as many of them as possible. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe for more think pieces like this, and take care of yourselves.